it took us 2+ years to actually build this. We not only look into financial data, your price data, but also we look into the company health, how the company is doing, overall market sentiments, overall market, the macro indicators, new sentiments, so many things. There are so many data points that goes into the processing of data every night. I would say there are millions of calculations that's happening. And by morning, what do you see is a list that is generated pre-market and with very high probability and very high confidence of hitting their target prices.
This is the How to Trade Stocks Options podcast, brought to you by 10MinuteStockTrader.com, where we cover finance, stocks, options, entrepreneurship, education, and money. And here's your host, voted one of the top 100 people in finance, Christopher Ewell. Today's episode is produced in partnership with Finclub.ai. Trade with confidence and leverage the power of artificial intelligence in your trading starting today. Go to Finclub.ai to get 2 free weeks of AI stock picks and save 15% when you use the code SAVE15. That's at Finclub.ai. Hey, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell so you'll be notified every time we give you more tools, tips, and tricks to help you trade faster and trade smarter every single week. Hey there, traders. Welcome back to today's How to Trade Stocks Options podcast. Today, I have a special guest on the line, Mahesh Kashyap. And Mahesh is the co-founder of Kievanos, and that's the data that's providing the artificial intelligence, the company that's providing the artificial intelligence data behind Finclub. Mahesh, I really appreciate you coming on the line today. I think this is going to be pretty interesting for the folks out there.
Thanks, Chris, for having me on your show.
Yeah, Mahesh and I, we've been working together for a little while, and I've actually only met Mahesh once in person before. But this is Mahesh's first time on the podcast, and we're going to really deep dive into Finclub. And there's been a lot of changes going on at Finclub, and for the better. It's really exciting to see everything, and I'm very grateful to be a part of the team making suggestions and helping implement these changes. So Mahesh, if you don't mind, just give the audience a little background on who you are and what we do with Finclub here.
Sure. So my background, I have a technology background. I have been working in financial markets from almost 3-4+ years, especially in building softwares for financial markets. And we started like Kievanos over 4+ years ago, and this Finclub project was actually started, I would say, 2.5 years ago, and it went live in January 2019. So we actually do have some history behind it, and we can stand by by our data, like behind our data. So the whole concept about regarding Finclub was to make it easy for traders to leave the guesswork behind, and hey, what stocks I can look at, what should be my target exit price, where should I cut my losses, for example, how the markets are looking, whether I am swimming with the current or not, because we believe that markets are always right? So it's not just stock picks. We look into various other things to make sure that if we are suggesting something, it's in line with the market, it's in line with market sentiment and all that. And my background specifically is in building AI systems. So the way we approached this whole problem was not just from, hey, let's pick up the financial data and run some models and give you an output. No, so it took us 2+ years to actually build this. We not only look into financial data, your price data, but also we look into the company health, how the company is doing, overall market sentiments, overall market, the macro indicators, new sentiments, so many things. There are so many data points that goes into the processing of data every night. I would say there are millions of calculations that's happening. And by morning, what do you see is a list that is generated pre-market and with very high probability and very high confidence of hitting their target prices. And once market opens, that list get refreshed again based on some of the algorithms that we run, and with update target prices. So that's one thing. Another thing that we believe, that as I mentioned, that we want to make sure that you're not swimming against the current, right? So markets are always right. So we have this another indicator called a market trajectory indicator that you will see, like literally on the, I'll show you in a little bit. But basically what it is, whether markets are moving up, the positions that you will take, if market is going to be behind it, like support it, and you're gonna reach your target prices on time, or there's a downward pressure in the markets, and you wanna, probably wanna stay away from the markets that day, things like that. So we put a lot of effort into that particular indicator as well, and a lot of people actually come back to us and they ask us, is it important? And hey, I think I look at that thing first thing in the morning to make sure the markets are, supportive. And then obviously I look into my daily list, and there are a few other things like sector momentum indicators, which basically just tell you whether there's any steam left in that particular sector or not, right? You need to look whether it's going up, going down. That can also help you support your decisions. And then we recently introduced this new feature called Workbench. It's nothing but a place where you can track your trades. If you finish your, let's say you move some stocks in Workbench area and you finish, there are a few fields that you have to enter. If you finish that, all it does is track the profit exit and give you an indication, give you a notification whether it has reached that target, or if it hit the stop loss before. We have our own stop loss suggestions that we have incorporated, and if it has reached that stop loss, if it has hit that stop loss, then it will send you a notification as well. So literally our goal is to simplify full end-to-end process for the traders, so that they can do their own research. They can look at this list, they can do their own research. It can enhance. They don't have to look at 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 companies every day. We do it for them, and we provide these extra features which can help them to make better traders. That's our goal with Finclub.
Mahesh, I really appreciate going through all that, because I have been one of the early users of Finclub, thanks to Mahesh's invitation, and I got to say, it's come a long way. It's really incredible what they do. In fact, there's a couple different stories I'd love to share with you. One of them was the first time Mahesh and I and another partner of theirs, Mark, who's been on the podcast before, we had our first introductory phone call, and I remember I was standing by some blinds watching the traffic go by, and they're explaining to me this artificial intelligence stock picking system that they were developing. And of course, I'm just like you right now. They were like, no, it's not real, not possible. No, it's totally fake. No way. But in the back of my mind, I'm like, but what if it isn't fake, right? What if it actually does work? So I was like, I'll give them a shot. I'll see what's going on. There's nothing really for me to lose here, just to see what's going on. And I tell you, Mahesh, I was so blown away originally, which was why I was so excited to continue to work with you guys. And I remember specifically, I was on vacation one day, and this was early on. And I was laying on the couch at our house there, and I was like, I wonder what Finclub's showing today. And it was Cisco systems, and it was expected to go, I don't know, let's say it was like 140. It was expected to go 145. And I was like, all right, let's just see what happens. So I bought a couple out of the money calls. And by the time we went to lunch, our lunch was paid for, because I decided to pull up my phone and see what Finclub had to offer. Just on that one day, I was sold. I was like, holy cow, this was so easy. I opened my phone, I saw the picks, I saw the target price, and I'm like, that was it. And I couldn't have imagined a better situation to start with, which is why I fully endorse Finclub. So really, Finclub, gives me a huge leg up in the market. I mean, the first thing I do, like Mahesh was talking about, is I open my browser and I go and look at the market trajectory. And if it's green, I know, hey, I'm good for long stock entries. I can go ahead and do my business the way I like to. But if it's red, you know what? I am not really looking to do anything long today. In fact, I may start looking to take off some long positions because there's a better than not chance that Finclub is going to be right, and I would rather work with them than have this information in my hands and work against them and say no, there's no way they're right. Because like Mahesh was saying, they're doing millions of calculations overnight, and you can actually harness that power like literally in the palm of your hand on your phone or on your desktop or wherever you are. So Mahesh was kind enough to offer to give us a demo of the Finclub product today, and we're going to go through each of the different sections and talk about how it works, why it works, how you can use it in your trading, how I use it in my trading. So I'm really excited to get into it today, Mahesh.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. Great. Yeah. And one thing I want to mention, and I'm glad that you bring up, your experience, and that is very, very important for us. Literally, the first year, 2019, we didn't promote it that much. I mean, we went with like few users, word of mouth, and kind of went back, improving our algorithms, make sure that it's not, breaking up apart, or some of these algorithms that I see in the market, they work great for few months, and then market conditions changes, and then they break apart. So that was our biggest fear, because we want to treat that if it's like my money I'm trading. Can I put my money on this system? So if answer is yes, then I'm very comfortable then kind of pushing it out, and recommending anyone out there to pay and buy these subscriptions. So that was our whole idea behind of not pushing it a lot in 2019. Now I think we are there. But let's start with the demo. Let me share my screen. So I just logged into the portal right here. The first thing that I see every day is this little section here with a simple message. Strong upward momentum may accelerate target prices. So this is very, very important. This literally tell you whether you are, swimming against or with the market current. And if you are taking long position, you may want to see this green um, a bar with this message. We have few other messages that based on the market conditions that we show. If there is a downward pressure, you will see a different color. If we want you to stay out of the market for the long position, you will see a red box here uh, with a different messaging. So that's one thing. The second thing I see over here, this macro momentum tab and these sector values. So all it is telling is how much steam is left in this particular sector. For example, if I go to this tab, which is momentum. So if I go to this momentum tab, then what you can see, these GICS sectors listed here. And hold on. So let's say I pick any, let's say I pick, I don't know, IT sector right here. I can see where, if it is trending up or coming down. Let's say communication services. Like, for example, this one is kind of going up. So all it is doing is letting you know whether there's steam left in a particular sector or not. So if you pick a stock and if it lies in one of these sectors, you may want to just see overall where the sector is going. So that's kind of the benefit of this particular tool indicator is. And we have seen users using it in a lot of ways in their daily trading. So we feel that it is a very, very important tool, very, very important indicator as well.
Yeah, whenever I use that, I've seen that it kind of leads the market, right? So if it's coming from a high value and then going south, that seems to kind of lead the market before the market actually does turn.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're coming into this seeing it for the first time, then you may not believe it, right? I mean, if it's your first time on the platform and you see it go from like 65 down to 35 the next day, and yet stocks are still
Mhm.
strong, then sometimes you may not believe what's going on.
Yeah,
And that was my first particular case with it. But then the more I got to use it, the more I got to see it actually like working ahead of the market. That
yeah,
seemed to really work better for me and have that perspective in mind whenever I was going into my trading.
yeah. I mean, it is meant to be for that particular day. So if you open the portal every morning and you can literally see where that day is going. So it's not backward looking, it's forward looking. So yeah, you can make use of this. Now I'll come back to this list, daily list here. So as I said, this list get populated first thing in the morning, pre-market, and you see over here, there's a probability column here, which kind of tells you the probability whether it will hit the target or not. This is what our target prices looks like, and it get updated when market opens. So you see this this is crossed out. So the value here was pre-market, and this was updated after market opened. And we have this new number here, which is called max buy price at open. And this is very important. This is us telling you, okay, whatever you do, do not go above this price. Don't, like, if you're buying something, if it is already above this price, I think that opportunity is lost. So you may want to pass, and don't want to take any position. And then we have a resistance value. Like, this is where your stock will kind of show the resistance. It will be hard to go above this value, but if it breaks, that's great. Um, and these buttons here, build allocation, all it does is, we have our own way to build an allocation. So let's say you want to select 3 stocks. So it will suggest you, in percentage, what should portfolio looks like, what should your portfolio looks like for that given day, or if you want to go ahead with this or use your own way to allocate, so that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
This button is workbench. Basically all it is doing is, we have a new page here, new tab here called workbench. So all it is doing is, hey, I add it to my workbench. I go to my workbench area, and you want to do it before market opens, or so that you're not coming in late. And because the whole idea of it is, you are tracking it. You are taking a position when market open at right time, and it's not integrated with your brokerage. So we will take your words as ground truth. So if you tell us, or if you tell the system that you bought this stock at whatever price. So for example, in this case, the max buy price is $40.61. So I say that, okay, yeah, I went ahead and took this position at, I don't know, $39, and I bought 100 shares. So then what you will see here is, it will populate things like profit exit. It will calculate a stop loss. This is our own way of calculating or suggesting a stop loss. And in stop loss also, there are few different kind of stop loss. This is like a hard value you will see, and then in some cases it's a conditional stop loss. You may not see a value right away, but it may trigger either end of the day or before market opens. Then you will see an alert right over here. And let's say, you sold this stock at, $40. So all I'm doing is, I sold at $40 all of my 100 stocks, and I click here, and all it is doing is adding to my log right here, that, okay, I bought at $39, sold at $40, and I made $100. So all it is doing is, number one, keeping track of your, whatever positions that you make and whatever you entered it here, and it gives you alert when it hit the profit exit or stop loss. So This feature, actually, we developed this feature based on feedback from a lot of our users, because they were asking, hey, can you suggest a stop loss? Or, I would love to know when it will hit the profit exit, because sometimes I'm not on my screen, I'm not tracking it actively. So it would be great if I get some sort of notification whether it hit the profit exit or not. So that's why we developed it, and I think it's a very useful feature and can be used if you want to on day-to-day basis.
Yeah,
Uh,
that makes sense. So, you know, they're putting the list out there, and then they're giving you the opportunity to kind of like track along with the list, right? It just puts everything in one place for you to follow along, and then they actually send the alerts to you when your stop losses hit or when your profit targets hit. So it makes it even easier.
yeah, and that's the whole idea behind it, to simplify the effort. I mean, you don't have to put a lot of effort on doing this thing, so that we can do it for you, and you can focus on analyzing it, or taking profits, or cutting your losses, things like that.
Right.
Another thing, very important thing, that as I said, that we stand behind our picks. So we have this historical tab, which is nothing but we keep track of our what we suggested for a particular day, whether it hit the targets or not. So so it's like, we are tracking our own picks. We are showing you our report card, whether we are doing it or not, whether our picks are hitting their targets or not. So, and we don't claim that, hey, it's gonna be 100% all the time, but we are doing a pretty good job in our picks. And if I go back, let's say, I'll give you one scenario in month of March specifically. Okay, so in March, few of our users reached out and they were complaining, hey, I don't see any stock here. And if you see that only 4 or 5 days we showed, let's say, for example, this date right here, we probably showed one stock. Um, yeah, and it hit this target price. And as you know, what happened in March, and after that event, after that month, a lot of these users came back again, and they said they were glad, like literally, they didn't take any position. They were frustrated initially because we were not showing any positions, and we were trying to explain it's for their own good, it for your own good, because we don't think it's a good time to be in the market. And I think if we look back, and we are all glad that we didn't take a lot of positions in month of March. So
Yeah,
uh,
I agree with you. It's I was one of those users. I was telling Mahesh, I was like, "Is this broken? What's going on out there? Where's all the picks at?" And Mahesh is like, "Listen, it's designed this way. It's a very conservative system to give you the best picks that
yeah,
are available. And because of that, there are going to be times where everything fails, and when everything fails, you can just kind of close your laptop and go on with your day. You don't have to do anything."
yeah.
So I really like that feature personally. I would rather exclude more trades than have more trades to choose from.
Yeah, exactly right. And it's not like, we take risk very, like, I come from risk background. I mean, I have worked in industry in the risk space, and I take risk very seriously. So we are not here to tell you that, hey, you're gonna become millionaire overnight. It's not. I mean, if you're looking for that kind of system, it's not. I mean, we believe in consistency, more wins, fewer losses. Cut your losses, increase your probability of wins, stay out of the market if you do not need to be in the market. So we have some very strong philosophy that we stand by, and that's how we build our systems. And even though a lot of people we talk to, that they are looking for instant wins, I'm not saying everybody is like that, but we always tell them, hey, if you are looking for that, this is not a kind of system that you want to subscribe to. So
Yeah, and I know from experience, being on the the right side of a trade feels great, but being on the wrong side, it doesn't feel
Exactly.
great at all. And one of the enhancements that they've made actually is they now provide a stop loss point, which they didn't in the past. And so, I mean, imagine, take a step back here. You're opening the platform for the first time. There are stock picks for the day. You're seeing a green market trajectory. So you have an idea of, oh, okay, now's a great day to go long stock. You look at the list and you can say, oh, here's something in the communication sector. You look at the market momentum indicators that were there, and you see the communications sector is strong. It's in the list. You've got pretty much all the different pieces lined up for a really solid trade that you could put on. And then let's say it works, right? They're going to send you an alert from the workbench area to let you know, hey, it's hit your profit target. You need to go ahead and get out. And they'll also send you alert, hey, things didn't work out. Something in the market changed that was unexpected. And now we feel that it is time to take the stop loss. And so it's all there for you in one spot. And in all reality, I mean, if you can follow what's going on with this without adding your own emotions to it, without adding your own kind of twists to it, you're going to do really well. And that's what they show in the historical section, is all the days that they do have picks and how well they've done across that way. So, sometimes you just gotta take a step back, take your hands off the wheel, and just say, you know what, this cruise control mechanism works really, really well, right? It's kind of like Tesla's auto driving feature, right? You're in the car, you're like, okay, I need to go home, so I push the home button, and then it just kind of just takes over from there. And that's what Finclub here does, is it kind of takes over. It shows you when to get in, when to get out. The only thing it doesn't do is actually execute the trade. So that's still up to you, but it gives you all the data that you would need to be one of the most successful traders in the market based on everything they can give you.
Yeah, yeah. And one thing I want to add is, on day one, you do not need to take your hands off the wheel. Let's say you are trading $100,000. You allocate some of that to Finclub, use Finclub data to make your decisions, to make, and see how it is going. And as a trader, you also want to make sure that you are also looking at your data, your analysis, and that's great. You are like reconfirming these signals, these alerts. So that's always good. We always recommend that, use your existing knowledge, and all we are doing is providing you a tool which can help you making better decisions, and it's up to you how you use this tool. So
yeah, exactly. So Mahesh, there's been a lot of changes with Finclub recently, and one of those is the pricing structure. So tell us how that's changed and what's going on with that.
Yeah. And I think we learned a lot from this whole journey, where when we in our mind, obviously, we didn't have a lot of experience in B2C. And we were building mostly systems for B2B. So the pricing initially was not right, but based on feedback from a lot of these traders, we want to make sure that it's affordable, number one, and number two, it makes sense for us as well, right? So last year until this year, we got enough traction that we are in a position where we can lower the initial price point. And right now there are two packages. There are two, pricing tiers. The first tier is $19 a month, and the second tier is $99 a month. Number one, we are not limiting the tools that we showed. You are gonna see market trajectory every day for both of these packages. You're gonna see macro momentum indicators for both of these packages. You are gonna able to add your stocks and workbench, track it, get stop loss, everything. So we are not stopping you from doing that, and both of these packages see that. The only difference is the premium package, which is $99 a month, has extended stock picks. Means it has picks which has a target prices of little bit more than what you see in our $19 packages. So it will be extended list. It will have more number of stocks. It will have more room for profitability. And if you see $19 package, that's still a great package in my opinion. It is more risk averse. So those are the stocks which will hit like clockwork. Like we have seen based on our experience they will hit like clockwork. Same will go for the other one, but for the other one, it may take a little bit more than, few hours to a day to hit their target prices. But they are great positions. We have tested both of these picks for over 6 months before even, launching it and, making it available for everybody. And you have a 14 days free trial that you want to start. And if you don't like it, right, you can cancel it anytime. So that's what we want to make sure that, you start your free trial, you test it, you actually deploy some money, you actually test it, or even paper trade it, see how it is looking. And then by at the end of 14 day, you make a decision whether you want to, go with us or not. But I personally, I'm biased, but I would personally recommend this system to anybody who is looking for this consistent wins in their trading days. So that's what it is for.
Yeah, and that's really cool. So you're getting everything that we talked about here with both packages. It's just
Yeah.
the more expensive package gives you more choices on that daily list.
Yeah.
So either package, honestly, is a great place to start. And like Mahesh was saying, you've got a 14-day free trial, so you can see that we're not just blowing smoke here. We've actually seen it. We've used our own money and we've tested it in many different ways to make sure that it's one of the best things that you could ever employ in your trading. I've written a short guide on how you can use the Triple Stock Profit system. It's the secret weapon every investor needs right now to change their financial future. And you can get it for free by visiting triplestockprofits.com or in the links below. Also, if you want to join a community of traders just like you can get free access to the elite membership that has even more resources to help you trade faster and trade smarter. So if you guys are ready to get started and learn more, head on over to finclub.ai to go see for yourself, right? Like take that 14-day free trial. I mean, it's definitely better than any sort of like Netflix or anything like that, right? Let's say if you're paying $19 a month to Netflix, you're not getting any value out of it other than entertainment. But that $19 a month going towards Finclub could really set you up on a different financial track. And so that's kind of why they have this mentality here, is that they want to make it affordable, they want to make it accessible, and they want to help you really get started in building your portfolio. So Mahesh, this has been a great conversation. I've enjoyed being able to talk to you and showcase this on the podcast.
Thanks, Chris, for again having me on this podcast. I do listen to your podcast, and I think you add a lot of value to your listeners. So great, congratulations for you, to your team, and growing this podcast to this size. I mean, it's amazing.
I appreciate it. I feel extremely fortunate because I like to. I love talking about finance and options and trading and all that stuff, and so being able to do this, and it's a huge blessing, and so thank you for that. I really appreciate it.
All right.
So Mahesh, we're going to let people go and try that for themselves over at finclub.ai. And, if you need any help, where can they reach out to some support at?
Yeah, it's a simple info@finclub.ai. It's email that we have our support team that check, all the time and respond within 24 hours. And any help, any questions we can answer. There are some videos that we have added to our YouTube channels, and I think any questions that you have or anyone has, please reach out to info@finclub.ai, and we'll be happy to answer those questions.
Very cool. Well, there you go, guys. Get started today over at Finclub. Start your 2-week trial, and you can see for yourself how it works. And Mahesh, thank you so much for coming on today.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, and thank you guys for tuning in to today's How to Trade Stocks and Options podcast. Make sure you like, subscribe, and enable notifications. That way you never miss whenever we have guests just like Mahesh and more tools, tips, and tricks to help you trade faster and trade smarter. And I'll see you on the next episode.